strategy on this.
Good evening, everybody. I will bring this regular meeting of council to order for December the 2nd, 2025. Be it resolved that the agenda for the December 2nd, 2025 regular meeting of council be adopted. Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Councillor Whyte. All in favor? It's carried. Councillor Bobick is away at his watershed convention, and we have CFO Gninda attending by Teams. 3, be it resolved that the minutes of the November the 18th, 2025 regular meeting of council be approved. Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Deputy Mayor Moriaux. Any discussion? Errors? Omissions? All in favor? It's carried. Moving right down to 6, communications, 6.1. Whereas council received the required 2023 financial statements from Swan Valley Regional Initiative for a Strong Economy at its April the 22nd, 2025 regular meeting, and whereas administration recently noted that a resolution number was not generated as required, be it resolved that the Swan Valley Regional Initiative for a Strong Economy financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2023, as requested by Resolution 2024-635, be received again. Moved by Councillor McKenzie, seconded by Councillor Powell. Any discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 6.2. Be it resolved that the Swan Valley Regional Initiative for a Strong Economy financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2024 be received. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Deputy Mayor Moriaux. Any discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 6.3. Be it resolved that the email dated November the 20th, 2024 from Nick Krotz regarding the RCMP retro pay be received. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Deputy Mayor Moriaux. Any discussion? Deputy Mayor Moriaux.
I guess it's refreshing to have this type of communication actually coming down where when we had the last go around with the contract negotiations, it was pretty much done in our absence. And this time around, we're actually getting bits and pieces of information trickling down to us. So it's good to see that and the heads up with that to start pre-planning for the retro pay that is inevitably going to come for that. So it's good to see that. And
they're looking at roughly maybe like a 3.5.
right. So
They're looking at.
I was just going to say, it's really not pertaining to the resolution, but any shortfalls from what was budgeted to what's actually expended this year, I would suggest that if we don't have the reserve for it right now, that gets transferred into a reserve so that money is sitting there waiting for when that comes in.
And a resolution or something in the future maybe suffice to do that, but yeah, it's a good idea. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 6.4. Be it resolved that the letter dated November the 24th, 2025 from Nick Paulet regarding the urban policing grant be received. Moved by Deputy Mayor Moriaux, seconded by Councillor Whyte. Any discussion? Councillor Whyte.
That $594,000, that's for policing, and it says in that general term. Hypothetically, if it were to occur and we went to community safety officers, for example, do we have to stick that $594,340 just to RCMP, or could we use parts of that for CSOs?
Well, that's the grant that we use, usually that we offset any cost to our RCMP because we receive this grant each year. Go ahead.
As long as you have an MPSA with the province, and like a municipal policing service, or not with the province, with the federal government, and you have RCMP services, this grant is based on a per capita amount, so, and this amount is reflective of a 2% increase from last year. So,
And it has to go to RCMP.
as long as you have, it's to offset the cost that you are paying to the federal government for RCMP. But we all know that our total RCMP bill is 2, maybe triple times that amount, so.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Okay, any other further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 6.5. Be it resolved that the invitation from the Albert Chartrand Friendship Center Housing Corporation regarding the annual general meeting be received. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Deputy Mayor Moriaux. This is the December the 9th meeting of their Housing Corporation's annual meeting at 5 p.m. That's next Tuesday. If I can, I will go for a while because that's just before our COM meeting. But I'll talk to Leslie or actually that's not Leslie, but the people there to see if I can come just for a little while. Any other discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 6.6. Be it resolved that the email dated November the 26th, 2025 from Nicole Arnold Cott regarding scan investigations be received. Moved by Deputy Mayor Moriaux, seconded by Councillor McKenzie. Any discussion? Go ahead.
Looking at their numbers in the graph that she's provided, while it's disheartening that we have to have them in the community that much, but it's good to see that our ratepayers and citizens are actually making use of that service by calling the Safer Communities Act number and utilizing that service, and it's reflective in the numbers that are growing from the last 3 years that we're utilizing their services more and more. So.
Yes, I agree. Councillor Whyte.
Ditto, absolutely. I think it's inherent on we as councillors to let the community know that opportunity exists. If they have a neighbor, if they're uncomfortable with, if they have concerns, they can contact that toll-free number and all the privacy in the world. If it's a drug concern or a crime concern, and obviously we've gone up significantly, so people are using it. Thank you, Deputy Mayor, for spotting that.
Any other discussion? Go ahead.
I just wanted, for council's recollection, there was a ratepayer at our community, I did mention in my report, just for everybody listening, a ratepayer at our community hall who specifically asked us how many investigations there were, which I didn't have that information because it's not our entity. Finally got this information back from Justice, so that's why it's on there.
Perfect. Thank you. And it's interesting because I've had a lot of people ask me about that. In fact, this afternoon, somebody was in my store and asking me the phone number to make a call. So there's lots of people that do use this service, and we're grateful that it's available to our ratepayers. Any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 7.1. Be it resolved that the Chief Administrative Officer's report be received. Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Councillor McKenzie. Any discussion? Councillor Whyte.
I believe that was a comment where the CNR has reported the finding of 199 discarded needles in the cleanup along the railway line. Where did that information go after they reported it to the town?
First of all, just for clarity, it was CN, not CNR. And what did they do with the information? I have no idea. They were letting us know that they found the needles. Presumably they called and reported them, but my concern was I was looking at the reported numbers, and I don't believe that they called because the needle distribution, or the stats that we get about how many needles were reported was not indicative of 199 in one shot from the CN police.
I'm always uncomfortable when I don't know where things go. Is there a possibility that you could access that individual? Give me his phone number, I'll touch base with him, whatever. Just ask him, did they forward that information on to Greymountain Health, for example, if it was appropriate?
Well, I can do whatever you ask me to do. Certainly,
Ask you to do
I don't know
that.
if that's our business, but I can. Director Harvey, do you have the contact information of the person who gave that to you?
I'll send that to you.
Sure, if you can give that to me, and I'll give it to Councillor Whyte.
Thank you.
Councillor McKenzie.
Your worship, just to sort of fill me in on what's going on airport management, and talking about contractors, what is happening?
I can't answer that because I'm not on the airport commission. Councillor Whyte.
I'm sitting on the outside of that one. At the moment, it's to do with a card lock system at the airport with the people who land. And it's been going on 2 years, and it hasn't come to fruition. The bill's gone back and forth. I think we're refusing to pay until we have more finishing that. Mr. Tewnion, I suspect you're closer to that than I.
Sorry, yeah, I didn't quite hear the question. I was writing something.
Just sort of,
Yeah, go ahead.
to update me on what is the issue is with the airport and what's happening. Is it with the fuel supply system?
So what had happened was my predecessor, in his capacity as airport manager on behalf of the airport commission, arranged for an individual to get paid some money to install some bulk fuel tanks so that we could have a card lock system. And that individual was paid some money, provided some material, and then things got halted. So Councillor Bobick, in his capacity as chair, has reached out to that individual numerous times. So then I took over to assist them. We're at a point now where we're working with him to try to coordinate with local contractors. It's just an ongoing saga, but it's to do with bulk fuel tanks for a card lock system.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further discussion? Go ahead.
I just think it's one of those prime examples where sometimes the lowest quote is not necessarily the best route to go. So, and that's what's happening here. So.
Okay, any further discussion on the Chief Administrative Officer's report? Being none? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 7.2. Be it resolved, the Director of Public Works report be received. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Deputy Mayor Moriaux. Discussion? Deputy Mayor Moriaux.
I guess Director Harvey, I see the consultation for the roundabout is on December 16th at Veterans Hall. Do we have a plan to advertise that widely so that people can't come back and say we didn't know about it?
Yeah, so we'll be advertising on our website and social media, and then MTI will be reaching out to the Star and Times and to the radio station.
Okay.
To see what was happening.
Did you have a
Just
question?
going to provide that answer.
Okay. Councillor Whyte.
Do you have a time?
2 p.m. to 6 p.m. I got that
Council.
information after the report, so sorry, I should have sent out an email.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Go ahead.
December 16th is a what day?
It's a Tuesday.
Tuesday, so 2 to 6. There's no evening session for people because
Unfortunately, that's the time they provided. I could check to see if
it's
they're
like
flexible.
a lot of people are working from 2 to 6. I guess again, the frustrations of last time using just social media or the what you call it, the survey online excludes a lot of people that are not savvy with that or not registered, and now you're scheduling meetings that the majority of the people work that can't attend that meeting. Like it's almost like creative avoidance. It's like if you want to have a public consultation with the public, have it in the evening where people can actually are off work and go to it. So, so maybe if you can reach out and ask like if they can have a 2-hour session, like can have a break, but then have and then have an evening session where you're going to get all the contractors that are working during the day to actually come and provide feedback. Because like having it from 2 to 6 to me is gonna be sitting there watching paint dry and crickets on the wall, because no one's gonna go, because they're all working except for a handful of people, so.
I can reach out to them and see if it's possible to have an evening session.
Councillor Whyte?
You guys are far more diplomatic than I today. I'm of the mind, personally, I only speak for myself, that the meeting should be in the evening, and NPI should be told, hey, we cannot meet during the day. I don't think it's a reach out, would you please? Because this has been going on festering for 2 years. We've asked for a public meeting, and I agree completely with the deputy mayor. In the afternoon, most of the public, many of the public have to work. So I'd say, thank you so much, but we'd encourage you to have the meeting in the evening. At the moment, we'd have difficulty support. I personally would have difficulty supporting that.
I can give a poke to the deputy minister too, in constant communications with him as well. Any
Okay.
further discussion?
That might carry more weight than Director Harvey phoning a consultant.
I agree.
Okay. Any further discussion? Go ahead.
Just to clarify, are you gonna reach politically and deal with that, or do you want us to reach to MTI? And
I'll reach out, but if the office still want to do both, I'll still reach out to the deputy as well.
So Jeremy, hold the presses on that. We might make an amendment.
Okay, so any further discussion on the Director of Public Works report? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 7.3, be it resolved, the Director of Recreation's report be received. Moved by Deputy Mayor Moriaux, seconded by Councillor Powell. Discussion? Deputy Mayor Moriaux?
Director Gordon Broom is not here, but maybe the CEO has the information, or a little bit more elaborate on the aquatic center with the hot tub, any movement or new information on that than what we previously had.
no, just it's in the report. That's all the update that we have right now. We're still waiting for a response. Let me just double check on the report.
It says awaiting further direction after providing photos of pool build and blueprints to Western Rec.
Yeah, so what is it more that you want than that? We're waiting for further direction.
Where are we at? Like, how are we gonna fix this thing, and is there a timeline? And
We're waiting for their direction. We provided them the photos and we're waiting for their advice and direction.
Your worship,
Just wait. Councillor Powell, I think, was next.
No, go ahead.
Okay, Councillor Whyte was next.
Yeah, it's not a big deal, but I'm just wondering, if the rec director can tell us why they charge more money for the big round tables. They're not bigger, they're actually smaller than the regular rectangular tables. Because Swan Valley Outdoors was inquiring, they wanted to set up a half a dozen of them at their length leave, but that was a fairly significant increase in cost, and I'd just like to know why that was. I'm sure there's a good reason.
I don't know, it's not in the report, so.
Are we talking about something in the report here?
No, it's not in the report.
No.
So, Councillor McKenzie.
I'm getting confused because we're on a different tangent here.
So you want to go back to the
Yes,
hot
to
tub?
the hot tub.
Okay, go ahead.
Your worship, and maybe to CAO Tewnion, has Western Recreation been in the facility?
I'm sorry, I'd have to look at previous reports. This has been reported on ongoing, and I don't have a recollection of that right now, but I can certainly get back to you. Your question is,
Have they been out to look at it, I guess?
we've had numerous people out to look at it, but I will see specifically. You want to know if Western has been there?
Yeah, if they've been sort of taken on to do it, it probably should be able to look at it.
Is the director back to work yet?
Yeah, I just told her she didn't need to come tonight. So you need to have them all the time. But you want to know if Western specifically has
Yeah.
been?
My understanding from what I hear, your worship, is that they're the people charged with responsibility of taking a look at, seeing what can be done to rectify the issues.
Right.
Probably better if they were right here to look at.
So maybe if we can get the director to give some response to that, maybe to the councillor tomorrow, maybe?
Absolutely.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 7.4. Be it resolved that the report dated November the 21st, 2025 from the CAO regarding age-friendly initiatives be received. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Councillor Powell. Discussion? All in favor?
Just-
Go ahead.
Just one point I wanted to make is that it was during member privilege at November 4th, Councillor Whyte, you'd asked to provide a full list of age-friendly initiatives, so that's why that's on there.
Thank you.
Okay. So Councillor Whyte will store that report and share that appropriately. So any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 7.5, be it resolved that the report dated December the 1st, 2025 from the Director of Recreation regarding the Centennial Arena be received. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Councillor McKenzie. Any discussion? Councillor Powell.
We're on 7.5, right?
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, and she's not here to ask, I guess, so, but out of
But
curiosity.
I'm here, so.
Okay, so you're here. So out of curiosity, there was some conversation on the hot water tank being electrical and not gas. Is there a reason someone had in regards to that? Or was there some issue because the arena has natural gas? Was there something?
I don't have a clue. I just know that this isn't, this is hot water tank repairs that were approved by council in the past, and the reason why this is being put on is because it's over and above the amount specifically resolved by council. So you want to know if we should switch into natural gas tanks at this venture?
No, not. There was just some conversation. Someone had asked me, and I said, I don't have a clue, but it was talk at the arena one time, and I was just like,
So what is it you want me to add to find out?
why these are not natural gas over for hot water when there is natural gas at the arena? Does that make sense, Darren?
There's natural gas in the arena. I'm assuming that it might be possible because that room is not let's say plumbed for natural gas. Not saying that you can't do that,
Right.
but then there's an undertaking to get that all set up right. So maybe it's without incurring any additional expenses by adding natural gas. The easier solution was electric. I don't know.
Yeah.
Recreation would have to give us some kind of report on that.
Yeah. Okay. There's enough.
Good question.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 7.6. Be it resolved that the report dated December the 1st, 2025 from the CEO regarding the proposed travel policy be received. Moved by Deputy Mayor Moriaux, seconded by Councillor Powell. Any discussion? Deputy Mayor Moriaux.
I'm glad to see this on there. We've kicked this can around almost like every year when it comes to setting the rates, at least this way. We just follow the CR rates and we go from there. The costs are actually more effective of what is actually being expended and the meal costs are. So I like it there, and then we don't have to come back every year doing this. It just automatically changes with that notification.
Any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Okay, moving down to 7.8, councillors' reports. Councillor Whyte.
Well, thank you, Your Honor. November 19th, I had the pleasure of attending the Child and Family Services meeting. Like a duck out of water. It was my first meeting, and I wanted to note that there's so many individuals looking after our children and families within our community. And when I get a little more immersed and caught up to that, I will have more thorough report. But I appreciate it being there, and I appreciate the work that they were doing. Then on November 24th to 27th, we were at the Association of Manitoba Municipalities in Winnipeg. It was very diverse in what was happening, but for me personally, the networking that was made possible with the cabinet ministers, the mayors, the reeves, the constituents, invaluable. We can phone people that we know. The trade show, the newest technology, the newer technologies, things that our community can use was perfect. The guest speakers were very interesting. I took note of Jennifer Jones and her relationship with teamwork and how to team and not always get along with your team, but have the team goals as the primary reason for existing. An animated and very intelligent speaker. The Premier and the Opposition Leader Khan both spoke quite well and very politely to one another at that meeting, which is nice to see. The breakout sessions where council goes to, we split ourselves up and go to different meetings were very interesting. And one of the ones that struck home with me was the investment in economic development and the things that one has to do to grow. And that brings me to think of, that's a priority for this council, I know that, and I know that past Mayor McKenzie is thinking about some items there, and I'll talk about that later, the need for an economic development officer, whether we share that person or not is at least debatable. I had the privilege of meeting privately in a social environment with Minister Boucher, and the mayor had already talked to him, and I chatted with him also about the concerns with the possibility of MPI, probability of MPI shutting down their office in our community, which concerns council as a whole. We met with D Division, the RCMP, and spent some time talking about the GIS, and there appeared to be good news on the horizon with the possibility of 3+ new recruits coming to the community. They would not be on GIS, but they would free up existing members who could become part of GIS. So that was good news for me. Then Deputy Mayor Moriaux and myself met with Minister Boucher about outfitting. In general, was the outfitting concept and the loss of economic development if our outfitters are disappearing. One of the things that popped up is there's no hard data. You don't have professional biologists locally, it would appear, doing that research in the case of our area. So that was a concern that we had. Elk, moose numbers, who knows what those numbers are? So we're concerned about how they access the data, if the data. And the other councils, of course, are meeting with other members. And the concern with the numbers of moose in the porcupines, 408 last count. That is really, really unacceptable. They may never come back. And then yesterday, I went up to the pop-up navigation day, hosted by 20 different entities, the Northwest Media Council, the RCMP, PMH, healthcare. And again, there's a litany of men and women helping people in need. And somehow I think we fail collectively when we don't get that information of those availabilities to the community as a whole. So somehow we have to think about how to communicate that. Thank you. And that was not quite 2 minutes. I'll make a point of
Good,
time.
good
I
job,
was asking
Council.
you to start talking about it.
Good job, Councillor Whyte, and I just want to make one correction with you. You mentioned the MPI minister was Minister Boucher. It's actually Minister Reeve, just for clarification. But anyway,
And you're right.
your conversation was
With Minister Reeve.
right on. Yes,
Thank
thank you.
Hello.
Councillor Powell.
Well, you pretty much explained everything that happened and all that's going on, but yes, AMM was very, very, I think we all enjoyed our time there. We always, when we get there, you really, when you can contact and get in touch with others, other people from other municipalities and so on and so forth, you really get a feel of what's going on all around our province and the different and diverse things that everybody's going through. I think that's always good to see. It's always great to see the ministers and hear them firsthand, like up close, and get a feel of what exactly they as well deal with on a daily basis, and the questions that we throw at them and stuff, and how they and just some of the things that come back. So I think for all of us, I think we all enjoy the time and what we learn and what we get out of it for sure.
Okay, that's everything?
That's it.
Thank you. Councillor McKenzie.
Yes, I very much enjoyed the AMM convention. It's been a while since I've been there, but what I take what I like most about it is the networking with councillors from other municipalities and ask them what they do with certain things. And it's always important to have an opportunity to meet with ministers and pressure issues with those ministers. I was quite impressed by the meeting with the RCMP, and it gives me heart to see that the RCMP are very much working on the issues that we have in Swan River, and I think I can see they're moving in the right direction, and I don't think it'll be too long before staffing issues will be straightened out. So that's a very positive meeting there.
Yeah, you definitely hit the nail head on because we're seeing that. So thank you to the Mayor Moriaux.
Since I got back, had a fire board meeting, which was just one of our regular meetings, nothing dramatic there, just regular day-to-day operations and updates on there. Then we had a stakeholder meeting with Prairie Mountain Health here in the committee room, where we got briefed on some of the hot topics that they are dealing with at the facility and the clinic. But one of the messages that they brought forward is that they wanted the town to be a leadership or take over the leadership of the communication on with the needles and all that stuff and going at. And so we gave them a bit of a pushback going, delivery of healthcare and messaging on that topic is their responsibility and not the town's. So it's like we would be on the bus and help sharing that message, but we're not the ones to be crafting it and being the champions of pushing that forward. That's their big whack, not ours, as far as I'm concerned. So, and then they brought some other issues forward and stuff like that we need to work through. And then again, with the rest of council, I attended the AMM conference. It was again a very informative conference. Like others have reported, that we met with the RCMP, where our relationship going forward over the last few months is dramatically improved, and they're addressing with actual sincerity this time with our concerns. And they did let us know that we have 3 new cadets coming either late November, early December, so there should be in the community anytime now, along with an additional 2 in the early new year. So that's 5 new cadets coming in the next short time frame. Then we moved on to the ministry with addictions and housing with the deputy minister and some of her staff. The minister wasn't there. That one I was a little less than impressed with that one, but that was the same messaging there, that they wanted the town to take a more leadership role in creating the positive narrative of what's going on in the community versus all the negative. Basically, I told them that the truth hurts and you're going to still get the truth from us. And again, a lot of that messaging and advertising what their programs are and things like that is their responsibility and not the town's. Again, we're willing to help with them and we'll bring that message forward, but they have full-time staff to do that. We're councillors here that do this in the evenings and on our spare time, not on it as a full-time job, so that's theirs. Again, we pushed the envelope on the needle exchange, or even just replacing the regular tuberculin needles with the retractables. PMH had better response to that one, or receptive than the ministry did, so we'll see how that goes. So. But we also talked to them that the needle or the conversation is slightly changing in town, that there seems to be appetite now to actually looking at some long-term solutions like a treatment center and actual proper housing for individuals, and how we can work with that. So we'll see how that goes. So. And then we met, Councillor Whyte and myself, with the Minister of Conservation and Northern Relations with things on that. My biggest takeaway with that one, especially when it came to like the moose and like all hunting in general, is that the minister has committed or would like to come out to the valley and have sort of a big meeting with all players, not just one-on-one meetings with one group and another meeting with their, but put them all in the room and hammer this out. I would like to be a fly on the wall and see how that one goes, but that's, I guess, a bold approach. It's like, instead of having 10 separate meetings with 10 different narratives and agendas pushed, put them all in a room and don't come out until it's solved. So we'll see how that one goes. And then his worship and I met with Minister Simard with community relations and that regarding us pressing forward that we need additional funding along with other hub communities in the province, that we are a catchment area and a hub community, and there are services and costs that we bear that other municipalities don't because we are the hub community, along with the arena discussion and pushing that forward. So he did give us some ideas and some little bit of homework on how to move that forward, but there was a potential solution how to potentially cost share that in project. So we will have to work with administration on putting that little homework project together and present it to them. So, with the conference in general, like the Ministers Forum was there, again, as you've seen in the paper. I asked the question on the needles with the Minister of Health that answered it because Minister Smith was not there. So they sort of agreed that there's a big issue and that they need to solve it, but again, no answers. But one thing I did notice from some of the ministers, not all of them, ones that want to work with us, were very approachable and wanted to talk. Other ministers and staff that were pressing hard on some solutions seemed to avoid us like the plague. They were very difficult or very hard to pin down for that. So to me, that means that we're doing our job and advocating for that, and we're making their life a little bit uncomfortable to match the deliverables that they need. So, but again, Department of Justice, great staff there. We network with them, plus the minister in dealing with back stuff, but also developing those relationships with not only the minister but their department staff, so that when you have an issue, you can reach out to those department staff and get direct answers instead of taking the scenic route. You can go directly to the staff and have those one-on-one relationships where you can do that with a text at 9 o'clock at night versus formal letters back and forth. And that's all I got. Thank you.
I realize that AMM is going to take up a long time as far as how we want to take that picture of what we do during our time at the convention, and we want to make sure that we're telling as much as we possibly can to the right payers that are sending us there. I want to say that Council again represented our community in a very professional way, as always. We really do shine at the convention or anywhere we go, actually, as we work together as a team. I hear back from the ministers, and I hear back from AMM, and I hear also from the deputies and the staff that work in the government offices. You know, and right from the ministers, like I said, and the breakout sessions of what we're trying to learn and take back to our community to make us better, and just keep on working as a good team. One of the breakouts that I attended, Councillor Whyte had brought that up as well, that he attended, and that was for the economic development. And we heard from the EDO from Nipawin, and we also heard from the CED coordinator or director, Lana Cowling. Lana has been part of this economic development with the province for several years. But we heard from Nipawin. We know what Nipawin is going through is growing and what they're doing. And she really laid out the groundwork of what you need to do as far as an economic development officer does. And it's just not one person, it's the community, it's individuals, and if it's public works or if it's the RCMP or whoever, all the agencies working together and creating that strategic plan and an economic plan, working all together. So it really goes to show that I think we're missing for our community, town, but also for the valley, we're really missing out on having an EDO. And I think that's something that at some point in time, and I mentioned this at a G4 meeting, that we, I feel, need to move forward, and we need to find ourselves an EDO that will do the work and help us grow and prosper as not only just a town, but also as a region of Swan Valley. Minister meetings, it was already mentioned, all of you have talked about Some of the takeaways that I had was when I sat with Minister Simard, he's so approachable, and I really think he's a really good minister, and he has a really good team working with him. And he's listening to us. He's talking about he wants to know more about the arena project. He wants to know more about our lagoon project. He wants to know what's happening and how they can change the way things are done in the past, and how we can proceed with some of these projects. And like the deputy mayor has said earlier, there's a lot of stuff that we need to kind of do our homework and work with his office. But the key thing is, they keep saying this, we see a lot of municipalities in the south doing this, and in a lot of areas, it's a regional approach. And the minister said this several times. Your area is a regional area. Swan River is the hub. You have to have a regional approach. And I don't know how many times we've been saying this for as much as time as I've been on council, and we really need to focus on that. And I'm not only saying at this table, but all the tables that we share in the Swan Valley. I don't want to take up too much time with the AMM. Of course, I get the word in my hat as a board member, so I'm representing the Parkland area at the same time as I'm representing the town of Swan River. And to meet our counterparts at the Parkland is always great, and we all share very similar issues. And when we're able to sit down with, if it's the ministers, the deputies, and share those stories and what we need to do for our region, we're really working together and doing what we can for even as a Parkland area or a region. I attended also the fire board meeting. We're looking forward to another one here in December. I think that we're going to be working on our budget for 2026. And then last night I had a Swan Valley Health Facilities Foundation meeting, and that is we're going through some changes and some challenges that with the board, and not that it's failing or anything. It's just the makeup of the board might be changing, and then we're looking for a new secretary treasurer. So we're kind of going through that right now, but the board is up for the task, and we'll move ahead. As we know that the Swan Valley Health Facilities Foundation is a very important entity that's for our facilities in the Swan Valley. It was established in 1995 after our regional hospitals and units all closed, and so it was an amalgamation of some of the surpluses and monies that were donated and brought into one large pot, and they've donated millions of dollars, or I should say donated, but have provided millions of dollars from our hospital that we have today, our clinic that we have, and also our CT scan that came out of these funds. So I think it was in the neighborhood of about $5 million that has been invested in the valley. And not only that, but also all the other equipment that has never been approved by, if it's Prairie Mountain Health or the province, that our facilities felt that they needed this equipment, and our foundation stood up and stepped up and said, hey, we're here to help the people of the Swan Valley. We think that our facilities need this equipment. So the Swan Valley Health Facilities Foundation has reached some challenges, but it's going to move forward in the same direction, and if not, maybe in the future even better. And with that, I think I'm going to end my report and save the rest for my privilege. So we shall move on to 8.1. Whereas Council previously approved $18,182.75 to purchase and replace two 120-gallon hot water tanks at the Centennial Arena. And whereas Taylor Electric, while completing the electrical hookup for the installation, identified wiring and components that were in violation of the electrical code and posed an immediate safety and fire hazard. And whereas Taylor Electric was already contracted for the project and completed the required safety upgrades, including the installation of three-phase breakers, emergency shutoff switches, proper connectors, and the replacement of deteriorated wiring to ensure the system met safety standards and electrical code. Be it resolved that the town of Swan River approve the payment of Taylor Electric additional invoice for the required electrical safety upgrades in the amount of $6,449.79, with funds to be drawn from the Recreation Reserve, the same reserve allocated for the original hot water tank replacement project. Moved by Deputy Mayor Moriaux, seconded by Councillor Powell. Discussion? Go ahead.
I guess, well, these were unexpected repairs as associated with the hot water tank replacement. Basically, we're providing the service, we need the hot water in there, and it is what it is. So, gotta pay the bill.
Any further discussion? Go ahead.
I just want to add one piece of clarity, Councillor Powell, when you asked about natural gas versus electric, and I'll certainly be looking into that, but I just want to be clear, you still need electricity for the natural gas, because you still have to have it wired to be powered with something. This is a electrical issue that was uncovered during the repairs that needs to be done because it's not safe to operate, whether it was the natural gas tank or an electric tank. I'll still get that information for you.
Yeah, and being that it was three-phase tells me that they're electric, not gas as well, but yeah, we need that information. Go ahead.
Do they put RFPs to other electrical people in the community when that happened?
This project was tendered.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 8.2. Be it resolved that policy number 6, 2025, being a policy of the town of Swan River to provide for the regulation of employee travel outside of the town limits be approved. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Deputy Mayor Moriaux. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 9, oh, there's none there. 10. 10.1. Be it resolved that the following accounts be received. Payroll accounts checks number P5599 to number P5600 and direct deposit payments totaling $107,662.81 as listed on Schedule A, and direct deposit payments totaling $18,617.83 as listed on Schedule B. Moved by Councillor McKenzie, seconded by Councillor Powell. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 10.2. Be it resolved that the following accounts be approved for payment. General accounts checks number 33431 to number 33448, totaling $30,308.94 as listed on Schedule A. Direct deposit payments totaling $26,915.23 as listed on Schedule B. Moved by Deputy Mayor Moriaux, seconded by Councillor McKenzie. Any discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Moving down to 13, members' privilege. Councillor McKenzie.
I have nothing, Your Worship.
Okay. Deputy Mayor Moriaux?
Yeah, just want to, I guess, comment that it was brought to me at the AMM, just in the networking and stuff like that. I guess one of the terms that were used is that the town of Swan River Council, in some circles, is called Thompson 2.0. There's no doubt where our council sits or what our views are. We make it been very clear, very similar to what the Mayor Smook and her council has been doing with the province and other stuff like that. So I guess it's starting to be a running joke. Besides some of our trademark AMM practices and stuff like that, we're getting to be known that if you want to know how we feel and how we want something off our chest, you're going to get it in an appropriate, not political, but polite way. But
Yeah.
there's no doubt of where we sit on what side of the fence when we're done the conversation, so. I guess that's been noted by some of our questions that we've been asking at the minister forum and in our conversations with staff and all that, we basically give it to them very honestly, but maybe a little less bark to call mere smoke.
Yeah, you're right, and I want to comment on that. You know, we do it in a good way. We do it in a way that it's productive, and we do it in a way that we bring a solution also forward at the same time. And that's what you want to hear. You want to be productive and you want to be moving forward. But I really like what we do. We really have grown over a long period of time to be where we are today, and it's been a lot of hard work, but I believe that the whole team has been doing an outstanding job. Is that everything?
Yep, that's it.
Councillor Powell.
No, just to let you know, it is December. We are moving into the month of December. This is the last month of the year, and lots of things are going on. There's lots of Christmas stuff that's happening. Black Friday, or the Friday, past Black Friday was pretty amazing to see downtown. Like, there was people everywhere. You know, it was really, really nice to see that again. It's been a while since we've actually had that scene. And so that was quite neat. But yeah, just to make sure we try and take in as much as we can, because, you know, and try to enjoy just a little bit of the time, because time is quick and Christmas is coming very quick. I guess the other big thing is, I guess we have a brand new council member. I guess we should recognize that Ainsley Whyte has been nominated in the by-election. So just like to make a nod to her and wish her well when she comes, and look forward to that. So yeah.
Okay. Councillor Whyte.
I just want to ditto to yourself, Deputy Mayor, and the Mayor's comments relative to amicable, polite negotiating with government. And I think part of it is that your office, sir, and Mr. Tewnion's office has sent a package to each of the ministers we're going to be meeting with. Here's who will be there, here's the ask, here's the history, where do we go from there? So each minister knows exactly what we're looking for before we get there. And there's been lots of comments how effective that is. So I appreciate Mr. Tewnion and your team for facilitating that. On the more miscellaneous world, I can tell you the Swan Outdoors just handed the books in the other day. It's in excess of $30,000 net from their outdoors dinner, which goes right back to the Swan Valley for outdoors related activities. So kudos to that team. And I want to compliment Marnie Zamzow and the staff at the regionals for hosting the provincial junior volleyball tournament. The gym was full, the hotels were full, the restaurants were full. And a compliment to Marnie and her team. And they won 3 or 4 games. They did really well. They went in as a host team. And only in grade 9, it is really, really excellent volleyball. I was pretty impressed watching it. I can tell you that council has also talked about reaching out to our First Nation partners about the possibility of going and moving some of our G4, G8, whatever the number is, meetings to the First Nation, and I encourage our First Nations partners to consider that. Just thinking about UCN and the Swan Valley School Division and being huge economic drivers in our communities, and how our partnerships have been so positive, and I think we have to increase those partnerships and work even better than we are. And I can only repeat what I've heard all night at the table, and everywhere we go, we need a full-time economic development officer to manage all these myriad of different activities, all great activities from the community, from the councils, and from our peers in the other G4. We've been talking about this for a long time. I think it's time to make something happen in that world, so I encourage our team to think seriously how we make that happen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Harvey.
I just want to give a shout out to Jordan Rooks, our town foreman. He's very organized and keeps things running along smoothly, but even just on the proactive stuff, we had a person doing the admin on call. Hasn't done one in the winter before, so he's giving her updates on the runway so that she knew kind of what it was heading into for the weekend, so that's appreciated. He just does that proactively. And then I attended the Smash Balls, was in that. So it was like the step before volleyball for grade 5 kids. and it was really fun to watch. And teachers that I saw there, they were there till 8 at night, and then the next night I saw them again there, so thanks to them for all those hours they put in. And then I attended the first pickleball at the high school on Thursday nights, it was 8 to 10:30, and that was really fun. People of all ages and all different skills, and I had a blast.
Did you say smash ball?
Smash ball was Wednesday, yeah, so that was tossing the ball, catching it,
Okay.
throwing it to one other person, that person throws it, and then a spike,
Okay.
and one bounce is allowed. So it's
Cool.
teaching them the skills of volleyball, preliminary volleyball, I guess.
Pickleball is the fastest growing sport.
I could see why,
Yeah.
it's very fun.
Well, thank you for your report, or your insight, I guess. CFO Gninda.
Nothing to report.
Okay, thank you. CAO Tewnion.
Thank you, Your Worship. She's still at council today. I met with her interim detachment commander, Eduardo Giannico. Anyways, he goes by Eddie, a really
Okay,
nice
that's
fellow.
good to know.
We spent about an hour together. Very eager to hear of our expectations and needs of the police, so I was very impressed. He committed to following up with our local taxi cab representatives in regards to ensuring full compliance with all the requirements in case there's any concerns there, and he'll
Thank you.
report back to me on that. I also invited him to our next council meeting. As a delegation, I think it's important for him to attend personally and bring whoever else he wants. While I have the floor and privilege, I just want to confirm, I kind of feel the need to defend Director Gordon Broom. Her absence from here is my choice, not hers. We discussed, and Director Harvey thankfully runs the meeting manager for me, and a lot of stuff public works. CFO Gninda is a wealth of corporate information, pretty much everything touches on finance, and I have a hand on pretty much everything I should. We go through her report, and unfortunately I can't anticipate some of the questions that happen. But if I knew that we were going to ask it, I would have had her come here. So if council feels that all of us need to be here, then let me know that. But I think work-life balance is important, and if I don't need to have her here, I don't. So that's why she's not here. If council is okay with that, I will certainly get back to the questions that are asked. I do try to anticipate what's being asked, and that one I had no clue that was going to come. This company, Western Recreation, I believe they're the ones who installed the hot tub, but we have had about 5 different crews have a look at it. I'll get back to you about that. The hot tub question, I have no idea that. And that's okay though, if you guys are okay, I'll get back to you on that. And one other thing I had quickly, hopefully I have time, Councillor Whyte, you had a question about if you have a concern about costs of tables that are outside the approved fee schedule, because I'm sure that's what they fell by. But if you have a concern, just send it to me and I'll get the answer back to you for sure. Okay? That's it. Thank you, Your Worship.
Okay, thank you. For myself, I just want to mention about the Midnight Madness Black Friday. The town was abuzz last Friday with most of our merchants participating. I want to give out a huge shout out to 330 Rachel Stober. She was the one that drove that whole thing, and that was her energy, getting the whole thing together, from prizes, packages all set up from all the merchants, and the draws, and kind of the whole idea just to bring that whole thing back to life again. And as a merchant that is in town here for several years and participated in Midnight Madness probably since 1988, kind of a long time for me to say that, but yeah, it was fun to see that again. And you know what, it'll keep on growing again. You know, they got really involved. I know that there's some other people in the community who want to see a parade, and they weren't quite organized to kind of get that going, so maybe next year we'll see that. And so yeah, a big shout out to Rachel and her team to really get that moving along. The one thing that we noticed, and the town used to have one when we had an old office, and is that we had a town Christmas tree. We don't have a town Christmas tree anymore. And so the Chamber of Commerce tried to do that a number of years ago, and I think the poor thing died out the Chamber office. And so I really think that we should do the same thing the town did a number of years ago, and on this property or something dedicated on municipal property, is to have a town Christmas tree. We really need to have something that is official. Here being the town entrance and all that would be appropriate, I think, but the town of Swan River does need a Christmas tree. So anyway, I'll challenge that to our great people at Public Works and with our CAO to maybe look at that. We can plant, I'm sure we have several trees that we can start something, in one of our properties. I wanted also to kind of set the record straight on something. Now, we heard some stories about NPIC and the closure of the building that we have on 4th Avenue North, and not everything is exactly right in this information that was provided to the public. We were approached by MPIC last month in regards to the future of the building. They had told me that they actually had not been operating since 2021, and I was actually quite surprised to learn that, because I've always seen people coming and going in the building, and my wife was just in there having her vehicle assessed. My kids both went through there for their driving tests and all that, so when they said it was closed, I was kind of really surprised. So yes, they have been talking about what the future of the building is, and office and its existence, and how it will be, the services will be provided to the town. And that's something that's been ongoing. We'll continue to talk with the CEO and department on the future of our MPI office. But more so, I think that people should know is that this council has stood up for the community and said, let's try to get that office operating the way that it was. And we will keep on advocating on behalf of our community to make sure that the services that are provided are going to be out of that office for years to come. So we'll continue to do that, and I just want to make sure that people have an opportunity to hear that from the horse's mouth. So anyway, with that, I am done with my privilege, and we shall move on to 14. Did you want something?
Just one quick, we should mention that we have a pile of students. They're here from Quebec right now. I forgot
right.
all about that. And I'm not exactly sure how many there is, but there is an exchange program that's happening right now. And there's quite a few young Quebec students in the high school right now. So,
Yeah. And it's you just prompted something else in my mind, but during the AMM, we also had an opportunity to meet a delegation and some elected people from Zambia. That was very interested to meet them, and we all had the chance to chat with them and hear how things are done in Zambia, and great group of people that we had an opportunity to meet and to collaborate with, and just this is what the AMM is. It's like I said, the networking and meeting some great people from all over the world. All right, 14. Be it resolved that pursuant to sections 152(3) of the Municipal Act, council go into committee and close the meeting to the public to discuss 3 human resource items. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Councillor Powell. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. We're on camera. Anybody? Okay, we're on camera. 16 items arising out of camera. 16.1. Be it resolved that the final 2025 to 2030 collective bargaining agreement between the town of Swan River and QP Local 851 be approved. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Councillor Powell. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 16.2. Be it resolved that the Management Employee Guidelines Agreement for 2025 to 2030 be approved. Moved by Councillor McKenzie, seconded by Deputy Mayor Moriaux. Any discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 16.3. Be it resolved that Policy 3, 2025, being a policy of the town to regulate manager salaries, be approved. Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Councillor Whyte. Discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 17, be it resolved this regular meeting of council now be adjourned at 8:30 p.m. Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Deputy Mayor Moriaux. All in favor? It's carried. We're adjourned. Thank you.